Hello everyone. In this video I'm going to show you CSS. I'm going to share some knowledge of mine to you with about CSS. So what is CSS? CSS is generally used with HTML to beautify a website. So CSS, the full form of CSS is cascading style sheet. So if we say our previous website, the website we just built to learn HTML, if we just look at it, you can see that there is nothing beautiful. Everything is like black and white. Of course there are images and images are colorful, but if you look at the other items like the paragraph or heading or anything like this, they are all black and white, like old 1970s black and white TV. So this doesn't look that much beautiful. So to make a professional website, we need to make our website look very standard, very colorful, so that people are attracted, so they come to visit our website. But this isn't something like that. So to make it beautiful, to make it look more attractive, we need to use CSS. So that is what we are going to learn today. We are going to learn about CSS. So let's start by opening VS Code. So this has taken me to VS Code. Now I'm going to just modify it, control minus minus. So now open folder. I'm going to create here. Sorry, I have to create a new folder first, which I could have done in VS Code too, but let's do this here again. So Ctrl Shift N, new folder has been opened. Now we're going to rename it, and we are going to name it CSS. I don't know, it's working a bit slow. So let's do it again. I don't know what happened to it. So that's website again. Rename it. Okay. We'll be naming it CSS for Beginners. Okay. So now we're going to open this folder from VS Code. Click File, Open Folder. I don't know why the background is not working, or maybe it is working. Yes. Okay. So I'm going to open folder now. CSS For Beginners. Click here. Select folder. So it's just being opened. So now at first we are going to have to create a HTML file. Just click here. Now I'm going to name it CSS for Beginners .html. That is the most important thing. .html. So now, as we have learned in our previous video, that to create a HTML structure at very short, very soon, and what we'll have to do is just click Shift and click exclamatory sign. Now click Enter. So now you can see the basic structure for a HTML file has been created. So now we will just change the title. We will put it like CSS for beginners. Yep. So the enter is not needed. Save it. Now if we open it like open with live server, you can see CSS for beginners for HTML. So why it is blank? Because we still have not had anything. So we will just start. So let's add something in our website, and we will add definitely in the body area, body section, body tag. So add something like I am beautiful, and also let's write CSS equals to cascading style sheet. Let's add something like CSS makes website looks cute. Okay, now we can add any in another mode like let's learn. Okay, so we have added some p tags. Now we can add anything in a header like h1, like learning CSS. Okay, so now let's go to our website, which will be like this. You can see it previously it was blank, but now you can see there is some paragraphs and heading. We have added it right now. So these are p tags, and this is h1, which we have learned in our previous video in HTML for beginners. Okay, so now let's say we want to add some style in our website. Okay, because it's black and white, and it's like old. Okay, looks kind of old, so we are not going to use this something like this in professional purposes. We are gonna make it look so much more beautiful. Okay, so now let's say we will add some color to our p tags. Okay, our paragraphs. So there are some ways to add styles in a HTML file. You can add something like inline CSS. In this way you can write any CSS on a tag. I mean, if you see like this, I want to add just some style here. I just have to, what we'll have to do is just write a style here. So I know that is getting kind of hard, so I'm going to tell you some easier way. Another way you can add a CSS to your HTML file is creating another file like CSS file and connecting it to your HTML file. Also, there is another way you can do it. It is called embedding. I mean, you can embed here. You can add a style tag. Okay, style. Within your style, you will add the tags that you want to beautify, or you want to add style. So let's say I want to make these paragraphs red. Okay, so just say p So now what will I give is curly brackets. There are kind of three brackets generally, like this is called parenthesis. This is called curly brackets, not this one, this one. These are called third brackets, but to use style we will use curly brackets. So now let's say what is the structure to add style. So the way it works is like that: style, then colon, then the value, then semicolon. So let's follow it. This is not something, I'm just writing it to show you an example of how CSS is written. So let's say I want to make this paragraphs red color. Okay, if I go here, you can see these are black, but now I want to add style to these paragraphs. Okay, so the style I am going to give is color. Okay, color. Now I am going to give color like blue violet. Okay, so this is style, colon, and the value of this color is blue violet. As you know, this is the name of a color, and at last we just put semicolon. So now we just have to remove this. So now save it. Now go here and you can see these paragraphs are now blue violet. So in CSS you can add colors different ways. We have just used simple name of the color here. We just we have just written color, and now we have written blue violet, which is the name of a color. So let's see other ways of adding colors. Okay, I mean CSS color. Let's search it. I know I made a mistake. So you can see this is w3skills.com, which is a very good website. If you're a beginner, you can learn this from your HTML, CSS, JavaScript, SQL, Python, PHP, Bootstrap, etc., C++. So we are just gonna concentrate here. So you can see all these colors have a lot of name. Okay, so if you say you know the name of all the people in your house, so that's not a big deal. There are a few people in your house, you know the name of all. That's easy. And maybe you are more brilliant, so you know the name of all the people in your area too. That's good. But it's impossible for someone to know about the name of all the people in a country. Okay, to know about anything about every people of a country, that is just impossible. So what does the government do? They give you a ID card, national ID card, and every national ID card have their each individual number. By that number you can know the details of a specific person. So just like that, every color have their own code. You can see hash, this is medium sea green, and you can see something like hash 3CB371. Okay, so that is hex code. If we write color like this is, and blue violet, is it here? Blue violet. Can I search? Okay, I can search blue violet here. Okay, so under the blue violet you can see the hex code of blue violet, that is hash 82BE2. Okay, so now let's remove blue violet. write this hash 8a2be2 hash 8a2be2 be2, okay, semicolon. So let's go to our website. And you can see, if I reload 2 again, the color is as it was when we added blue violet. So this is what actually is hex code. Now another way of defining color is RGB, okay, this is, and here RGB means red, green, blue, as you can see. And RGB is, in RGB we will have to do is, let's say we are writing this 249, 249, 249, okay, let's see if that does work. No, that doesn't. So go to the previous page like this, okay, red, green, blue. So here you can add the different value of different colors. So these colors are original colors, okay. So if you go to an artist, you will see that he uses a mixture of different colors. He uses different colors, but the fact is that most of the time they use 3 colors. These are red, green, and blue, and by using the mixture of red, green, and blue, they make other new colors. So if you write the value of something red, let's say 125 is the value of red. Now let's say green's value is 180. We will have to keep it within 250. We will have to keep it within 250. Remove blue, add 240. So this has kind of given us that color. You can save it and go to your website. You can see the color option. That is RGB, okay. And then there is RGBA. If you just click here or here, you can see then there is this option, that is RGBA. Now you can see with RGB you can see A. A means opacity. So opacity is something giving the strength of the color you are using. You can see the more you use it, the more it is gonna get transparent. So we will just keep it like this. Now if we no, let's use a bit more. Now save it, go to your page. You can see, if you look closely, you can see that the color is lighter now. It is not as heavy as it was before. So this is what RGBA is. And also there is something called HSL, which means hue, saturation, and you can see lightness, okay. So by giving the value to this, you can have colors too. And like RGBA, you can add HSLA, where HSLA means giving the opacity. So we will just keep our website as we did previously, blue, violet, semicolon. So okay, don't know why the color hasn't come. Oh, I made a mistake here. Okay, now it should work. Yes, you can see the color is like this now. So there I have told you the definition of colors, how you can add colors to your website. So let's say we have added colors to paragraphs, but let's say we want to add colors to H1 list tag too. So what we'll have to do is just go here, and now after this we are going to add H1 like this, like we did previous time. Now just we want to add color, So I just clicked enter. Now it has created the extractor for adding colors. So now I want to, let's say, give a dark blue. So now let's save it, and you can see the h1 tag is changed. So let's add some different color because it looks familiar. So another color I can add is dark golden rod. This will definitely be different. So you can see now the h1 tag has a different color too. To add some background to the paragraph tags of ours, for that we will increase the paragraph size like this. I am beautiful. After adding CSS, I am going to be more beautiful. Okay, more beautiful. We have some mistakes here. That is gonna be okay. This doesn't show any suggestion. I hoped it would show me some suggestions, but actually it didn't. So let's copy this, Ctrl C. Now write it full stop, now paste. So now it is much bigger, much bigger. Okay, now if we go to our website, you can see this is a little bit more. Now increase it to CSS. I will master CSS today. So top day, not top day, it's today. So let's copy CSS, that line, Ctrl C, Ctrl V. So you can say save it now and go to here. So you can see the paragraphs are actually a little bit more bigger. So what I've told you is we are gonna add the background color. We are gonna change the background color here. So let's, at first we'll have to write background, as I said, background color. So definitely we are going to write background color, and the background color is going to be dark blue. So I'll save it, and if I go there, you can see actually this doesn't look that much good. Let's add any other color. We will add what the hell is going on? Okay, we will add something that really suits. So we will add gray. Okay, semicolon, save, go to our website. You can see that the background color is already set. So let's add some height to it. Okay, height. What does height do? Say we add 60 pixels. So you can see the height of the paragraphs are increased. You can see previously it was tiny, but now you can see it is now bigger. So let's do some trial and error. Let's say we add 600 pixels. So what happens? This is just huge now. Okay, so we will just keep it 50. I think 50 will be enough. We'll give it a nice look. Okay, you can see it is looking really nice. So let's say I want to add width. Let's give it a width of, let's say, 500 pixel. Okay, so now you need to learn something, that what is that thing I use, px, pixel. What is that? Okay, so let's show you something. Close these tabs. Mine is a low-end PC, so it will just start hanging. So now let's write CSS height measurements. Okay, go here. So yes, units would have been a more preferable word, but I use measurement, but whatever. So now you can see these are the units. Okay, so let's say you are 5 feet 5 inch, you are 5 feet 5 feet 2 inch, you are 6 inch, sorry, not 6 inch, you are 6 feet. So what is that feet is? The feet is in an unit. Okay, a unit that gives you an idea of the length of something. Okay, in this case, say that gives you an idea of the height of someone. So in our code we will have to tell the code that I want to do it, so I want to give it a height, you give it a height, and that is the value, and then we have to add pixel or anything to, so that the file understands. Okay, so that the browser understands what should be the size of this. Okay, so let's say there are absolute lengths and there are relative lengths. So the absolute will not change. You can see they have written here the absolute length units are fixed and the length expressed in any of these will appear exactly that size. That means they will not change, as you declared that they will be like this forever. Now there is relative length units specify a length relative to another length property. Relative length units scale better between different rendering mediums. So relative will be like, if we now add, let's say, you can see pixel is what, that is, you can see it is absolute, it will not change. So let's smallify our browser, so you can see what you can see. The width of the paragraphs are not changing. I bring here, it is like previous times, I make it smaller, it is doesn't change. Okay, so that is why we are calling it absolute. So now we are going to learn about relative. So let's give it, let's say I want the width of the paragraphs are for half of the total area. Okay, so now let's add width like 50%. Okay, so let's save it. So you can see the width of these paragraphs are 50% of the total area. You can see the half, 50% means half. So if we make our browser smaller, you can see here it is also working. It is also have taken the 50% area of the total area of the browser. Even if I have make it smaller, let's see if I'm making it more smaller, it is working. So it is changing relative. I mean it is changing as also the size of the browser changes. So that is why I'm calling it relative. Okay, this is why relative. So you can see there are centimeters, and we use it as cm, but we don't use cm, I mean centimeter, in professional areas. There is also mm, it means millimeters, but we also don't use it in professional areas. There is in, inches, we also don't use it in professional areas. Px, pixels, which I have used, most of the time we use it, the developers use it. You can see we have also pt, that means points, but pt doesn't work too. Why? I mean we don't use it in modern days, these days. pc, that means because I never actually used it, but I really know because I had read this article before when I was a beginner like you too. So relative lengths, em means relative to the font size of the element, and ex relative to the x height of the current font, ch relative to the width of the zero, rem most of the time we use it, rem relative to font size of root element, vw, that means viewport, relative to 1% of the width of the viewport. Maximum time we use it, but okay, just you need to just hear the name as a beginner, that there is something like this, so that after a while when we will use it, you may not be frightened. So you can see there is also vmin relative to 1% of viewport's smaller dimension, vmax relative to 1% of viewport's larger dimension, percentage relative to parent element, that is I have shown you right now. So these are relative, and as a beginner you just need to learn pixel and percent, and it will be enough for you. So I have you can see, you also know now percentage. So let's say I want to make the size of these fonts are bigger. So what I did, these are fonts, everyone knows it, these are fonts. What I want to change, I want to change the size of it. So just I will have to write like this, font, and you can see there are options. Font size is here. So let's say I want to add like something like pixels. So let's say add 25 pixels. Save it. Now go to our website and you can see these font size are bigger now. Okay, so that's it. So that is what actually font size. You may want to give special class to a special person, like if you like someone, you don't propose everyone, you just propose your special person. So we were gonna do something like this, and for instance say we are gonna add another one, h1 tag, and h1 and in this h1 we are gonna write something that everyone should follow, like maintain social distance. Okay, so this one here is h1 tag, this one here is also h1 tag. So now save it and go to our website, and you can see, can you see? No. Okay, reload it. Yes, you can see now. Maintain social distance. This h1 tag has also got the same style as the previous h1 tag. So but sometime you may want to give style to a special h1 tag. So what will you do then? So that's the question. So we don't want to add this style of this h1 tag to this one. So what in this case we will use something called id. If you want to give special this style to any particular tag, you can use id. We will see this now. For instance, say let's add some h3 tags. This will be Vladimir Putin. Another h3 tag. This would be Joe Biden. Another h3 tag. This would be Kim Jong. Sorry, I don't know why the mistake was here, especially to Kim Jong Un. Okay, so let's say I want to give special color to Vladimir Putin, and I don't want to add that style to Joe Biden, because they are not friends, so they will not take the same style. So for this purpose I will give id to each tags. For instance, you can say like in your school you have a unique id, and that unique id especially belongs to you, and nobody uses that id, and your result, your examination, everything is based on your id. So and no one will be able to get your results or marks in the exam because you have your own id. So how will you declare a id? Instance say id, click here and click enter. Now you give an id, and id we will give something like very unique name, and that should be really something meaningful, so a person can understand that this id is related to this tag. So let's say I will give the id something like USA, no, Russia president. No, Russia will do. So now I have given ID Russia to that history tag Vladimir Putin. So now say I want how I will call this one. Okay, I will call this ID how. So if you see in our previous method, we just called P, that means the paragraphs all in our website, and also H1, that means H1 of all our website. But in ID we will call it in a different way. We will just type hash, then we will type the ID, now again curly bracket. Okay, so now you can see, but let's see our website first. You can see there are names. Okay, so now you can see Russia, and for instance say he is now old, so give him a background color. Background color would be gray. Now save it, and you can see that Vladimir Putin got now a background style, background color, but Joe Biden and Kim Jong-un didn't get that. Why? Because we have given special ID to Vladimir Putin to give him a style. So now let's say you may be asking yourself that can I use ID for one more time? Yes, you can. If I give that to, we'll be seeing Joe Biden is also now gray. But the fact is that sometimes you may have to use one style only for one time, so then you should not use ID to any more tags. So now you can do is, let's say something we will use like class. So class, this would be like pink font. Okay, I will give the color to Joe Biden and Kim Jong-un to pink font. Okay, so now I will give the same class to Kim Jong-un to class Kim pink font. Okay, so now how I will call this class, it is like this: dot, then type the name of the class. In this case I will type pink font, curly bracket, now style. So I will just give the color to pink and save, and you can see Joe Biden and Kim Jong-un are now pink. Okay, why? Because I have applied this class to both of them. And you may also want to maybe thinking that can I use one more class in the same line? Yes, you can. So let's say I want to give a background color, so BG, this is the name of our class. I mean, let's just apply this. Okay, BG. Okay, yes. Okay, so now BG, how you can do that? You just space to the previous class name, then a space, then your new class, a curly bracket, and the background color would be, what will be something like dark, something like slate gray. Okay, so now you can see Joe Biden has a different background color because we have given this class to Joe Biden. And you may also want to add the same class to Kim Jong-un too, so just type PG by giving a space, then BG, I mean the class name. Now save it and reload your page. You can see that Kim Jong-un has now the same style like Joe Biden. Because why? Because both of them has same class name. Okay, so this is what actually ID and class does, and this is how you can call your class or ID. You may want to do the same thing to something like ID, I mean list items, like UL unordered list. li list items, like say name of the gang of, so let's add some ID, I mean something like banana, now Havana, I mean li. Okay, so now if you add this, now let's say I would just want to add the class something like pink font. Okay, so I will just type pink font to both of them, class pink font, save, reload, and you can see we have our these new items, list items are also pink font, because the font, the style we applied here are the same style we have applied here too. So this is something about ID, class, and how you can apply. So now let's open another website, something like my blogs.html. okay, so now, as we have learned in the previous video, to create a structure of an HTML file, we just have to press shift and exclamatory sign, and now press enter. And now I just want to change the title here. The title would be something like, you can see okay, blogs, that will do. And if we go to our website now, save it and open with live server, okay, I don't want to open here, I want it to open here. Okay, open with live server again. Okay, here, and you can see I have given nothing, but just only change the title, so you can see now that the title is changed. And so the name is blogs, and we will add some blogs here in body. For instance, say h1 would be like my awesome fantastic blog. Okay, yep. So now I will add an h3 tag, h3. This would be my travel to Paris. Okay, Paris. So now I will give some description. First, add something like in a small tag. Let's add author. Author would be Leonardo. L should be capital letter, Leonardo Caprio. Okay, now let's add some paragraphs like Paris was beautiful, I have seen Eiffel. How Eiffel is written, I don't know. Eiffel probably like this. Tower. There are beautiful girls. Girls. They are. Okay. So now just copy paste this again. So to make it large in size, large in quantity, Ctrl C, copy. Now let's type Ctrl V. So now if I save and if I go to our website, you can see there's something like this. I want to add again because this looks so tiny in amount. Now see, yep, now this is okay. So now we will add another blog, something like h3 my travel, my tour. my two to my tutu, my tutu, my tutu, my tutu. What is my tutu? My tutu would be my tutu. My tutu anything like USA. Sorry, I will add author, small tag, author. This would be Tom Cruise. Okay. Now add P, and I will be adding something like USA was beautiful too. I went there with my honey. Then you can say I met Joe Biden in White House. He made me coffee. Her life is beautiful. Okay, beautiful. Now copy paste this again to make our paragraph look bigger. Ctrl C. Now click Ctrl V, save. Now if I reload, this is also something good. So let's add another blog, H3, something like travel to Saudi Arabia. And this would be author, or the author would be me. So me. Okay, I forgot to write author. Now add some paragraph. I went to Saudi Arabia to perform Hajj. Saudi Arabia is a beautiful country too. There is a lot of desert, hardly any rain. Okay, so now I will just copy paste this. So to make this bigger, Ctrl C, Ctrl V, Ctrl V, Ctrl V, Ctrl V. Okay, so now say I want to add some style to this blog. Okay, and I want the blog to be something like the whole background from here to here to be a specific color. Okay, so let's just try to do that. Something like my blocks. Where is my blocks? Click here. Okay, my blocks. It comes here again. I don't know where it has disappeared. Okay, so now click Alt Z. So let's add for something like here style tag. Here let's say I want to give H3 background color steel blue. Okay, and there is a small tag background color still blue. Now there is P, background color, still blue. Auto save. Now you can see that the background of this blog are still blue. The color I have set it to give, but I want, and you can see there is break lines here. I mean, you can see that there is gap. I just don't want the gap. I want from here to here to be same color. There should not be any gap. Okay, so if I want to do that, how will I do that? Okay, so there is something like called div. Okay, we did it probably here or probably in a previous video. Okay, so let's keep it in a div. Okay, okay, let's copy this, Control X. Okay, cut it. Now create a new div like this div. Okay, now paste here. Now go to your previous page. You won't see any changes because I did not give any style to tag div. So let's give a name, class name to this div, and this would be blog. Okay, now give style to this .blog, and you can see background color still blue. So you can see in this tag, in this div, the whole div is now has a specific background color. It is not like the others. You can see there is gap, but in here you cannot see any gap because I have put it in a different div, and in a div I have given this style to the whole div. So that is why there is no gap in this div. I want to do the same to the rest of the divs too. Okay, let's say this is h3 ending here, copy it. Now let's create another div, paste it here, give a class name. Class would be same like blog. Okay, Ctrl X, another div, and give a name to the class name. Give a name to the class. Class would be like this. Class, from where the hell that V came? Damn. Okay, blog. So you can see now everything have no. So the rubber did not work. Yep, I made a mistake. V. I should work. And you can see that every different div has every different block has different color. I mean not color, but you can see that they are, you can identify them differently because they are separate. So another thing you may want to do that you may want to give the other name to different color. So now how will you do that? We will do that by creating span tag. Okay, you probably know this or not, but let's learn if you don't. Span, now the name, how is the span? I think I made some mistakes. H3 starts here. So why the hell we have this here? Okay, now this is perfect. So I want to give other name a different class. So let's say span. The other would be Sami. Okay, so now let's say you want to give this other name a different color. Okay, so give a class here, color would be other. Okay, the name of the class would be other name. Now we'll give a color here dot other name. Other name would be, color would be red. And now just copy this, span tags here, Control C. And what the hell happened here? Other Tom Cruise. Just paste here. Now that would be Tom Cruise. So here other would be Sami. So span Sami. So now just give the color to class name. Here to class name, other name. Now come here. Okay, now save it. If you go, you can see that every other name has a color. As you did see that I applied the style. So this is how you can add. If you have heard the name of the President Donald Trump, you may be familiar with the fact that he wanted to create borders between Mexico and USA. So you know that every country has its border for security purpose, and there is something like border in CSS too. So let's say I want to create a border in this div, or say every div. So let's create a border. So there are few ways you can add border to your CSS, but we will now learn one way. So let's add border. So for border, so far we have just given a single value to all our styles. If we go here to every style had just one value, like say height 50 pixel, width 50%, font size 25 pixel, color this, that, but not more than that. Always we have used single values. So in border you have to generally use three values. First of all will be the size of your border. Say we will add 5 pixel, okay, then comma, and comma is not needed. So then I will have to declare the type of border I want to use. There are a few types of border, like dotted, then solid, then dashed. So let's type solid. Then we will have to declare the color of your border. We will add yellow. So let's save it and go to our website. And if you just go here, you can say, obviously we're not seeing anything. Let's reload it. Okay, I will have to open it again with open it live server. On this time this should work. Okay, now you are seeing that there are border around the div. Okay, so this is solid type of border. Now let's say I want another type. I want the border to be dotted. Okay, now you can see the type of the border is changed. Now we can also add something like dashed, and you can see that another type of border is here. So we will just keep it solid. Most of the time you will use that. Okay, so now let's say you are seeing that there is an angle here. It is sharp, but you don't want to keep it sharp. You want to make it softer. You want to make it look good, like round type. Like you can see there here that it is not sharp, the border here. So we will do something like that to here. So let's add border, and that is called border radius. Border radius. Okay, so you will have to just declare the size of the border radius here. Let's add 50 pixel. You can see that there will be a massive change of something that you can see, but 50 pixel is more than necessary, so I will add 20. 20 looks really decent. So this is what border radius is. I hope you are having a clear answer or clear idea of what I am trying to say. So let's say now talk about that this div and this div are really close, and we just don't want to be that much close, because this is the pandemic is going on, so you want to maintain social distance, so you don't want to be close to people. So for this reason we will add margin. Now you all know what margin is, but if you don't know what is margin, let's see something. On book with margin, and you can see just let's open this page. Let's open this image, and you can see that there is a line here, and you cannot write here. You will have to write here. If you look at here too, this is a margin, and outside the margin you cannot write. You will have to write here. So this will be blank, and or you will have to write here. So this is something like 2. Like if I give margin, there will be in the left, there will be open places in the left. If I give margin to right, there will be empty places in the right. If I do the top, there will be empty places in the top. If I give margin to bottom, there will be a gap in bottom. So let's say I want to give margin in the top. So let's write it, margin top. Let's write 40 pixel. And you can see there is already gap in the upper side of each div. So now if I want to give margin to the right side, how will I do that? Like this, 50 pixel. Just you have to declare the size of the margin. Now you can see there is a gap in the right side of each div. So now let's write margin bottom. Let's say 100 pixel. So now you can see there is more gap in between each div. So that is why, because I have added margin in the bottom of each div. Now let's add margin to the left for say 50 pixel. No, let's add 60 pixel. So now you're seeing that there is a gap in the left side too, and that is what actually is margin. So now I have done this in 4 different lines, but we can do this in a single line too. For this reason is you'll have to type just margin, and for let's comment out this, because we will just do all of this here in a single line. So just control and slash. So this has been commented out, and you can see all the changes are gone. So now I will do this and type margin, and this will be, let's say, 40 pixel. Okay. So now you can see that there is equally margin of 40 pixel to each side of each div. You can see 40 pixel here, 40 pixel here, 40 pixel here, 40 pixel here. So then what does that mean? That means if you give a single value to your margin there, and their margin will be all of the margin will be same for all the sides, the 4 sides, as you can see here, top, right, bottom, left. If you give single value, all of the value will be 40 pixel. I mean same for all the sides. So let's say this is for all the sides. Now I can add another thing like 50 pixel. So now you can see that let's add this much more than that, 250. So now you can see that the margin in the top and the bottom are same as previous, but the margin in the left and the right are changed. They are much more than that they was before. So you can see that is 40, that is 2250. So as you can presume that this is 40 and these are 2250. So let's say I want to add, so for this here, top, right, bottom. So now here's another thing like 100 pixel. I can understand that much from here, so let's give 1000. Okay, so the fact is that I will keep it 200. Okay, so now you can see that there is gap more than it was before. So this time the third one that I have added, the third value, it has actually applied for the bottom of the each div. So now if you want to see again, I can add 150 pixel. If you go to outside, you can see that you cannot understand that much, I know. So let's add 500 pixel. So you can see that the gap is here, left. So this first value is usually applying for the top. The second one is applying for the right. The third one, 200, is applying for the bottom. The fourth one, 500, is applying for the left. So what does that mean? That means it is working clockwise, like this wise. You usually know that clock works this way. And if I give all the value of the margin to the same line, it will work the same way like a clock, like this. Top, right, bottom, left. So now let's learn something like padding. Padding is something, so you can see this, the content of the box are actually right beside the wall or border, you can say. I mean, this is they are so close that I am not lacking it. So I want to bring this text a bit right. From here there should be a bit gap so that the text here looks good. So what is that? That is actually called padding. Padding is actually completely like margin, and you can say when we will use margin or padding. So listen, margin is something about outside. Okay, the border is here, and when you are giving margin, you are actually taking the space of outside of the box, outside of your div. So margin left means you are taking here space, margin bottom means you are taking space from here, your right means here, top means here. So exactly like that, if you want to give padding, padding will be, you will be taking space from here, inner side of the box. So if I show you something like this will be padding. Let's give 50 pixel. So you'll see now. Okay, now you can see that there are gap here, 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 and here. And why that has happened? That has happened because I used padding. So like this, you can, like margin, you can separately declare your padding too, like padding top. You can, if you just want to see padding, you can see padding left, right, top, bottom. So these actually work like the same way margin works. So this is, I think you will be able to understand this. So here is another thing. that is something called CSS box model. And what is that? So if I open it, you can see looks kind of okay. So now you can see that there is a box, and if I compare this box to this our box, you can say this is content. Okay, this is height and width. This is our box, this is the content from here to here, and you can see this is the height and this is the width. Now you can see padding. You already did see that we have given padding here, 50 pixels from all the sides. So that is what is padding. Now you can see border in our box. This yellow mark is border, that is 5 pixels solid. And outside the box, border, you can see margin, and you already know that we have margin here. We have already declared margin. So this is what is actually CSS box model. You can know more about by googling it, and this is kind of an important question for job interview in Viva. So you may have to learn something very deep about CSS. Now you want to move that title into center. Okay, only the title. So how will you do that? We will see right now. So first of all, I will give class to each of our h3 tags. That will be class. Okay, mistake. Class blog title. Okay, so now we will copy it, Ctrl C. Now paste it to all the titles. Okay, now save it. So now you will not see anything in changes. So now we will give some style to that thing. The class name is whatever, I forgot. Blog title. Now you can, so whatever I said we want to bring this text, the title, in the center. So that is what I'm going to do. Align items, center. Text position. I think this can text align center. Okay, so the previous one was the mistake. This would be text align center. If you want to bring any text into center, you can use this style named text align center. Okay, now you're seeing all the titles are in the middle. So now another thing you may want to see that let's say you want to bring color to the title. Obviously you can do that, and you can say that you want to change the font size. Okay, if you want to change the font size to EM. Okay, now what will this do? This will double the size as it was previous. Okay, and now you are seeing that the size of this title are now bigger than the previous times. Actually it is doubled because I added 2 EM means double the previous times. So now you may want to change the font family. What is font family? Font family is something that is how the actually a font looks. Okay, let's say I have selected this. If I now go to a previous page, you can see that the fonts are a bit changed. Okay, I want to make some changes to make it clear to you. Save it, reload. Okay, let's see another font. How does that look? Okay, now you're seeing that the fonts are changed. So another thing maybe want to see that the font weight. Font weight, what is the thickness of the font. Okay, if I set 100, you can see the text are now a lot thinner. If I set to 400, that is actually the default one, so you can understand. But if I set it to 700, you can see a bit more healthier. Okay, so that is how font weight works. Now you may want to do some changes to the paragraphs. So I want to bring, you can see in the left, these are same in the same line, I mean same column. There is nothing like this one. Okay, there is, it is ending here, and then the next one is here, the next one is here, the next one is here. But if we want to do it like that, so how will we do it? We will just do something called this. What is the name of our div? I mean class blog. Okay, so blog. Now we want to do the change to every paragraphs of our blog, so just do that, and then justify content. No, I mean this would be like text align, justify. So now you can see that they are both sides, you can see that they are ending in the same position. And thing I want to show you that, okay, the paragraphs ends here. Now let's add something called a new paragraph. Okay, you can see that there is a new paragraph here. Okay, you can see here. So now what I'll do is I want to add a small tag, small. Okay, not this one. Okay, so what I'm going to do is add a tag, anchor tag, href google.com. Okay, so now just see here, I'm typing visit Google. Okay, Control X, bring that p tag here. Okay, so now you can see that this anchor tag is in line with the paragraph. Okay, now let's set another paragraph inside this paragraph. Paragraph number 3. But you can see that this paragraph number 3 is under the previous paragraph. And why does that happen? But I think you did see that visit Google, this is an anchor tag, and this actually was in line with the previous paragraph. But we also did the same, just added another paragraph, and you can see that this paragraph is under the previous paragraph. Why did this happen? This is something called inline element. This anchor tag is inline element, but paragraphs are not. So you can see this anchor tag is here right beside the previous paragraph, but the next paragraph is under. So if you want to know more about this, you can Google what are inline elements or block elements. External CSS. So what is that? For that we will open a new website named give it a name you want. I'm gonna give third website.html. Okay, so here is, let's create a structure for HTML. We have got here. Now let's add an h1. This is our third web page. Okay, so now I want to open it with I want to open it with live server. So you can see here. So now so let's say I want to change the color of this text. So now I want to change. So the previous times we did that like this style tag. Within style tag we have added all our styles, but you can do this if your project is small, not that big. But if you want to, in professional jobs, you will do it creating an external CSS file. So how will you do that? Create a style file, style.css. okay, so now I will give style to h1 tag. The color would be aquamarine. Okay, now save and go to our page, and you can see there is no change. Why? Because we will have to I will have to make some connection between this HTML file to that CSS file. Why? Because otherwise it is annoying that it should work with that. So just add style. No, there should be link. Just type link. Visual Studio will give you something like this. Link CSS. Let's click here. Okay. So now you can see that there is a style or CSS here. This actual is meaning our file. If you give any other name to your file, so you will have to change the name. But in this case I have given style or CSS already, so this should not be changed. Reload and save, and you can see that this is connected, the HTML file and the CSS file, and that is the result. You are seeing that the color of our text is changed now. So let's say I want to, in professional area you may want to do something like this. If you go to your folder, the folder you are actually working, you will just add another folder. Ctrl Shift N. Okay, style. Okay, style. I don't know what the hell is problem. Rename. Style is the name of the folder. So in your bigger project, a professional area, you will do like this, creating another folder for the CSS file. And you will go there and open another file in. So let's say I will add main.css. So now I want to give h3 tags, and I will change the color to what? Burlwood. Okay. So if I go to our website now, you will see that the color is not changed because I did not connect between our new CSS file to our website. So for this we will have to just let's remove this link CSS, click here, and now you will have to tell the your Visual Studio Code that the CSS file is not actually the previous one, it is another one. So just change it. So like we did while adding an image or anchor tag or anything like adding an image. So what we did, we just told the location of the file. So we will do the same here. Style, and you can see there is a file .css. Now save it, and you can go here. Okay, there is a problem. Okay, it was not h3, it was h1. So now save it, and you can see the color of our page is changed. Why? Because we have changed it. So now let's add something else like paragraph. Okay, let's add something like banana. No, let's add a small tag. Okay, small tag. This is Joey, another small tag. This is Chandler, another small tag. This is Ross. So if I go here, you can see that I already did in a while ago that these are inline elements. Okay, so they will remain inline even though I put them in separate small tags. Okay, so you're seeing here. So what I want to do is now put this small tag in a column, not in line. So here I will do small tag display block. So now you can see they are one after another. So that is what actually display block does. So now let's see something else. H3 tags, Monica, Phoebes. No, was another one? I just forgot. The another one is I know her name, Rachel. Okay, so you can see that these names are already in line. I mean, not in line, they are all coming one after another in a column, but I want to add them in a line. So how will I do that? I will just go there, type H3 display inline. So now you can see that they are one in a line. So that is what actually display inline the CSS. If you are a beginner, you need to learn this. So if you just go to our first website we created today, you can see we have just started doing some using of colors. How can you can use colors, how you can change the background colors, and then the giving names of like class and ID and working with them, and how you can actually use different type of color. I have just told them the pixels, width, percentage. I have just told you that. And if I go to our second website, that is blogs, and you can see I have told you how you can use different things like creating a div, then putting all the items there, then styling, using a style to them. Okay, so you just adding border, margin, padding we have learned here. Then in the third website we just actually learned how to use external CSS. So that is for all from this video. I hope this video will give you the basics, the very very fundamentals of CSS. See you in the next video.